Oh man. Woo. I got a little bit to go into here, but I'll explain. Mention on here often, I moved. I've lived like 5 places my entire life, pretty much. Our family didn't move much, man. When I was born, my parents they already had the house, they were paying for it. It had been built about a year before I was born. They'd owned the property for a little while before they had the house built. Lived there till turned 18, and like a month later, I shipped off for the service. That's where, actually, being in the military is where a couple of places I live comes in. I didn't move around a lot my time in. I spent a lot of time in South Carolina, good amount of time in Virginia, a little time overseas. Come back, went right back to the house I grew up in. My parents had moved out to Texas. They moved out before I got out of high school. I lived there for a little while, and then I moved to Texas. I needed to change pace. I lived up there for a while. And then I finally moved to where I am now, which is a little bitty community on the outskirts of Brookhaven, Mississippi. Ain't nobody heard of this place. Nobody's heard of Brookhaven, really. But how's it connect to this? You're thinking, you're just rambling. No, I'm not. How it connects to this is very simple. When I moved here, I'm like, shit. I don't know where a single comic shop is. I'm sure there's a couple in Jackson. I'm sure there's some in motherfucker. Sorry about that. Got some family members at an auction around. They just called me about some stuff I'm interested in. All right, back to this. So I moved here. I'm a manager of comic shops. The only bookstore that I knew of was a used bookstore I've been going to since I was a kid. Because even before I moved here, we had family friends that lived up this way. We come visit. We go to this used bookstore. But it was like 90% romance novels, 10% everything else. And at the time, we had dial-up internet, so online ordering was a pain in the ass. So I decided, I was flipping through a magazine, saw an ad for Science Fiction Book Club. Well, I'll join them and see what they got. Well, I got the first 3 volumes of Savage Sword of Conan, Volume 1, Archives from Dark Horse. I got a big old, one of the Dark Horse, later on, the late 90s, early 2000s Conan series. I got one of those. That's the first volume of that. And I got this Conan book that collects the last Conan stories that Robert E. Howard wrote. Before that, I knew Conan. I'd seen the 2 movies at the time, the third one out. I'd read a little bit here and there, but never was huge. I fell in love with the character. And these are out of print because Marvel's got the rights now, but what these do is these reprint a good chunk of the stories for the magazine. So, which one this came out? Do not see a price on this. $17.95. Following the colossal success of Conan the Barbarian, Roy Thomas helped expand the universe Conan to showcase further stories and talents of some of the comics industry's best with the equally popular Savage Sword of Conan magazine. Now, for the first time in over 30 years, these primal tales feature Robert E. Howard's most popular character available in the first in a series of massive trade paperbacks collecting all the Savage Sword of Conan stories beginning with issue 1. Included in this volume are tales by Roy Thomas featuring the breathtaking art of such legends as Barry Windsor Smith, John Buscema, Alfredo Alcala, Jim Starlin, Al Milgram, Pablo Marcos, Walter Simonson, and more. And that's not all. Also included in this film are Conan's few appearances in the title Savage Tales for the Complete Conan Collection. This volume collects selections from Savage Sword of Conan 1 through 5 and Savage Sword of Conan, Savage Tales of Conan the Barbarian 1 through 5 and the Savage Sword of Conan 1 through 10, originally published by Marvel Comics. Alright. Now they're black and white, but that magazine was black. The only thing in color was the covers. And this is just some amazing, look at this stuff. Gorgeous art. That's Barry Windsor Smith. I can tell just by looking at that. Is that Red Nails? As far as Barry Windsor's name, was just Barry Smith. And just gorgeous art. And I've got a stack. I'm actually missing volume 4 somehow. I never got that one. That's some good art. And I got all the way up to 10, then I quit picking them up, and now they're all out of print. I need volume 4. Anybody listening knows where I can get volume 4 for. I'll pay up to $25 for volume 4. I'll drop that kind of cash. If anything about the Science Fiction Book Club is, I'm still a member. I ain't ordered shit from them in about 5 years. I just get the little notification. I just want to check this out. Any of y'all remember the scene in the movie where he's on the big old, the trio woe? Biting the vulture. I get the little email beginning every month. Hey, blah, blah, blah. Are you blah, blah, blah? Do you want your credits or something? No. And the reason I haven't quit, because I almost did months, and I'm like, I'm never going to use this. If you actually quit it, you got to write them a letter. I'm like, fuck that. Fuck that. But this is a great little, and it's huge. How many pages? Oh, God, that is gorgeous art there. Look at that. And the thing about the Savage Sword of Conan magazines, this is one where, as a kid, I remember flipping through it on the newsstands, but I never would buy it because there'd be nudity every once in a while. Oh shit, my mom's gonna see it, she'll freak out. Because even when the 1980s started, and I was like 5, almost 6. I was still a little kid. And by the time I was old enough, my mom wouldn't have said she wasn't bothered looking. I just wasn't reading Conan. I don't give a fuck about Conan. And now he's become one of my favorite characters. I just want to see, because I'm going to show you Volume 2 too. I'll pull that one off the shelf. Volume 3 is actually at my uncle's house right now. He borrows these from me. 544 pages. You see how yellow the inside covers get. Because it's been sitting on the shelf forever. There's Volume 2. Look at that cover. Man, that is gorgeous. And this covers 11 through 24. And who we got on this one? We got John Buscema, Alfred Alcala, Sonny Trinidad, Boris Vallejo, Ken Conrad, Earl Norham, Mike Zeck, and many others. Just, gorgeous ass art. I'm actually really, really shocked that after that Conan movie with Jason Momoa, we didn't get more Conan stuff. I know there's talks of a TV show. There's other. And it's one of those characters where you could make a TV series of this, but you have to put it on cable and like FX, one of the channels that's willing to take a few risks, because this is, oh man, it's Conan running around killing motherfuckers and hooking up with women and getting drunk and just so great stuff. And this is the way Conan's supposed to look. See how he looks here? He's muscular, but he's not like Schwarzenegger was just like a big massive muscle and walking around, Roy Magoo. Conan was like, as I described it, if you go look for it, it's part of the Comic Geek Speak podcast called Comics With or Without Pulp. I don't remember the episode number anymore because it's been a long time, but that was the first time I was ever really on a podcast for anything, and it was an episode on Conan. And on there, I refer to Conan as a Stone Age ninja. Because that's what this fucker was. He could do a little bit of everything. He could move quiet. There's a scene in... Shit, what is the name of that story? It's one of the Robert E. Howard stories, like The Wolves at the Gates, maybe? I'm sorry for you big-time Howard fans that are like, you dumb fuck, it's this. I have not read those stories in a long time. And most of them are public domain now. You can go look on the Project Gutenberg Australia website and download all of them. But there's where he's traveling through the woods. If you've ever been in the woods, it's hard as fuck to walk quietly because you got leaves and all that shit on there. He's walking through the woods totally silently. Nobody knows he's there. And that's the other thing I like, because these were, they give the artists that did these magazines, they have more time, and I think that pay rate was more. They actually, you got some really gorgeous art. Those Marvel magazines from the 70s into the 80s, and by the 80s, basically all you really had left was Conan. It's getting separated a little bit. Were so good. And now it's getting harder and harder to find them, and when you do, like Savage Sword of Conan, going to comic shops and all this, most of your comic shops now don't have a box for them. Because they're magazine size. Oh man, where are we going to store that? There ain't that much demand for it, blah, blah, blah. You don't see them. I don't mind picking up the back issues, but I don't want to pay more than $1 or $2 an issue. $2 is about my maximum. I'm not looking for mint. I'm looking for reader copies. Somebody can sit down and read and enjoy and not worry about, oh my God, it's a 9.8 by reading, I'm dropping it to an 8. Fuck that. Just gorgeous ass art in this. A lot of John Buscema. And I've got plenty more. I might do some more of that. Just the shading on that. The shading on both these pages. And that's the cool thing. The only thing you're really losing the color on is the covers. 500-something pages. Look at that back cover. Well, I'm out, everybody. I've rambled enough about Conan. There's my 2 volumes, baby. Conan 1 and 2. Talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.